Hey everybody, this is Sean V. Bradley, president of Dealer Synergy, and I'm on site in Olive Branch, Mississippi here at Homer Skelton Ford, and I'm with my man,
Brian Chapman, general manager,
and
Homer Skelton Ford, VP.
VP means very powerful person, very personable person. Look at that smile. Okay, all kidding aside, Brian, I've known Brian for a long time. Can you tell everybody how long we've known each other and how, if you remember how we met?
I think it was about 9 years ago in one of the magazines. I read an article that had to do with video search engine optimization. Pick up the phone, gave him a call, and I think we were doing business within an hour.
So yeah, it was basically, I think it was the cover for Auto Success in '08 that was the king of search, where it was the article, the cover story about video search engine optimization. And back then, you were really progressive. You were like light years ahead of people with video in your strategy, and it seemed like almost Jerry Maguire, like that we completed each other. Like I was excited to come out. And this though is, I've only been in business for 13 and a half years, so for me to come in 9 to 10 years ago, this is when I first started my company. A couple years after I started my company, I helped you with the internet department and with video optimization. And we kept in touch over the years, and fast forward to 9+ years later, you and I started talking about actually possibly working together again. What was your interest in bringing me and Dealer Synergy back out to the dealership again after all these years?
Well, to Sean's point, Sean comes in the dealership and he advanced us light years ahead of our competition, and we really got good with Sean's material. Along with getting good at it and getting ahead, we got comfortable. We got comfortable with where we were. Taking, I guess, an audit of what's going on in the internet world, I guess our self-evaluation, we realized that even though we once were good, that now we're just as good as everyone else. So I thought, well, Sean got us to this point. Maybe I need to reach back out to see what's changed with Sean. So after a short conversation over the phone and him sharing with me some of the new techniques that that he has, I guess, deployed in his strategy, I knew it was the right time to bring him back in.
Well, I appreciate that. Two things that I want to just focus on is that, from my understanding, legitimately, you were using my system, some variation because dealers customize, but you're using the principles of the Dealer Synergy strategy for almost the last decade, correct?
That's right, 8 years.
Okay, 8 years, and it's had its effectiveness. One of the big differences from here, if I may, is that before I was zero in on internet and BDC.
That's right.
The big difference this time is not only did you have an interest in helping us reestablish protocol for internet and BDC, but for the first time at your store, I was going to work with the showroom. Talk about that. Why were you interested in hearing my philosophy and strategy Dealer Synergy for showroom if I'm the internet guy?
You are the internet guy. In our conversation, you shared with me with some new technologies that you had, and I think you said, not only are we going to rock the internet room, but I've got a new strategy for the showroom sales. And you shared with me some technology that he's built. I think it's a money mind map. Immediately, got the concept and what you were trying to accomplish with that. And immediately I knew that if we could tap into that and my sales force could see the vision of what it means to have a game plan every day, that I knew that you could move the needle. And I think you said if we could get every salesperson that we had to sell just 2 more cars in addition to what we were doing in the internet room, how that would transform our store. So at that point, I knew that it was time to sign up.
Here's the thing that I've got to say, a couple pieces is, one, the internet and phones are the new showroom. We all know that a lot of the traffic, a majority of your traffic is coming from internet and phones, but there's 8 total ways to sell a car, 6 additional other than just internet and phones. And I personally believe, and which is what I feel, I was joking around and saying that you complete me and vice versa, is that I believe that every single salesperson should be their own internet department, their own BDC. Can you tell us about your strategy? How crazy is the stars and moons as far as like sales radar, and just your personal philosophy as a GM with 26 years in the business? How do you feel the salesperson role should be in 2018 and beyond?
Well, forever we've heard that a salesperson is in business for herself, but yet we haven't equipped the sales department with the tools that they need to literally go in business for themselves. So as I look at all the different technologies that's out there and going to the different shows, it seems like the salesperson is being kind of pushed out of the process, but yet we realize that they're our most valuable asset in the dealership. So if we want to make our life easier, we need to reduce turnover. And how are we going to reduce turnover is actually equip them with the tools that's going to make them successful. So Sean and I have talked about a new tool, Sales Radar, that accomplishes many things by giving them their own website, their own mobile app, giving them the ability to use technology and to communicate with with cell phones and the things that's out there today. So I believe, along with Sean, when we complete each other, looking at Money Mind Map and what that strategy is, and in a tool like Sales Radar, that it makes sense to to take your dealership to the next level, to tap in to your sales department and make it easy for them to really get in business for themselves.
100%. So you basically recontracted for Dealer Synergy to come in and do a boot camp. My responsibility is for the first 2 days, for Monday and Tuesday, to do an immersion. The first day on Monday was full internet BDC strategy protocol rehash. Then today, his entire showroom we cut into 2 classes. Half the salespeople managers in class 1, the second half of the people in class 2. I would like your opinion. You obviously had expectations. It's been 8+ years since I've been back in the store personally. You've been on the Bradley On Demand. When you brought me in, how do you feel your internet department and your showroom received the information? Do you think that they liked the training, they got value from the training, they were enthused about it? What kind of feedback did you get from your people during and after?
Well, what I'd like to say is first go backwards to the preparation that took place before you came to the store. That was the main thing that really stood out to me. We set a time for Sean to come out, and it wasn't, let me just get the check and I'll see you in a few weeks. It was, okay, let's have a meeting. We met by Skype 4 different times to set the proper expectations, to get everything in place so that we can maximize the time that we had in store and not having to think through, what are we going to do, and this is what the strategy is. So when Sean walked into the dealership, we had everything, mapped out from what we were going to get accomplished. So to answer your question, my expectations was to get to move the internet department to the next phase, to go from selling 100 cars out of the room to move the needle to, plus business. I think you've laid the foundation certainly to do that through the technologies and the strategies that you've employed. From the sales department, it was to really to get them to think outside of, what is the next up that you're going to buy me, from sitting out there, playing on their cell phone, looking for something to come over the curb, that there's actually other ways that you can sell cars. So that's what I wanted to get out of it. I listened to and was part of all of the training, and just conversing with my staff in both departments. They're excited, and they're waiting for you to come back out and for the next time. So extremely happy. Thank you.
Oh no, my pleasure. And one thing I'd like you to say, is it real? What was my schedule? Is it true that I came in at like 8:15, 8:20, and I left at about 8:20? So that's about like 12 hours.
That's right.
And today I'm going on a second 12-hour shift. So I've got
That's
2
correct.
bell-to-bells. Is that true?
That is true.
So I'm the president of a national company, but I have done 2 back-to-back bell-to-bells with my man here. You know why? And here's the legitimate reason. I don't do this for all dealerships. It's the energy. It's like playing tennis. I said the analogy earlier. You don't want to play tennis when you're spiking a ball. At first time, it's kind of funny. You spike the ball, but I live for the volley, the back and forth. And man, I had fun today with you. I had fun building and synergizing and planning. And I throw an idea, your face light up, and you go here, and then I'm going here. I love that stuff. So I want to just say thank you so much for having me back. And I am sincerely excited to be sharing in your success, because he was very careful not to give a number, but I'm going to put it out there like Babe Ruth. I'm pointing at the fences right now. I'm going to tell you right now, I believe on both sides, he's got a net lift to between 30 and 40 cars on the showroom side. If he's got 25 salespeople, if they just net increase 2 units apiece, that's 50 cars. So I'm going to save a little and say it's 30 to 40 net increase on the showroom side. With the internet, with the model right there, another 40 to 50 cars. Do the math. That's 70 to 80 cars. At 2 G's a copy, minimum front, back, or what have you, you're looking at, again, possibly $160,000 gross. That's big money. We're talking about 1 point whatever millions of dollars additional. If I could help you do that, are you a happy general manager?
Absolutely.
He said he didn't even skip. He was like,
We're going to buy him a house in Mississippi, and he can just come down here.
He's trying to get me to come down to Mississippi. But if they keep feeding me this amazing barbecue, you might get a neighbor here, my friend. Listen, much respect. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Closing question. Would you recommend Sean V. Bradley and the Dealer Synergy team to everybody except your competitors?
Everyone except my competitors?
Yes.
Absolutely.
We have a non-compete, so it's my rule that if I work with you, I can't work with any other local dealers because when I play to dominate, not to compete. Voltron, thank you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Dealers, you just heard from a 9-year user, successful general manager, and vice president that the Dealer Synergy process really works. If you're ready to sell more cars, more often, and more profitably, call Sean and the Dealer Synergy team at 856-546-2440 or visit us online at dealersynergy.com.